In this video, I want to talk about the alpha version of your final game project that you're going to be building. So an alpha version of an application is usually one that you can kind of use from start to finish, but some of the features might not be implemented yet, or like some of the details may not be polished. So in terms of the alpha that you're going to be creating, we had all of these requirements that were laid out in the final project where you had to have a list or an array and you had to read from a text file or save to a text file. You don't have to do all of those for the alpha milestone. The alpha milestone here I'm saying needs these things specifically. You got to have at least 2 branching decisions with 2 or more options, 2 variables that impact the gameplay meaningfully, 2 classes, not including your program, and 1 instance created from a custom class. And these are the ones to focus on. Like, you're trying to get a skeleton of a game that can be played from start to finish that has these things that then you can polish up, tweak, and fix for your final milestone when you turn in the final version of the application. So it's okay at this point for there to be placeholder elements in your story, or it to be missing the kind of ASCII art and polish that you want to have in there, as long as you have these specific elements in your project. So what I wanted to show you is a quick example of what that might look like. And this builds off of the keyboard demo project that you have, or the keyboard menu project that you built in this class. And so this is a escape application, alpha version, which is like a game where you're the player, you have this limited amount of energy or stamina, and you're trying to get out of whatever situation without losing all of your stamina. And it's kind of a rough version of the application, so some of the things need to be polished and tweaked. There needs to be more art, but it'll at least show you an example of what I mean by branching decisions and meaningful gameplay variables. So here we're going to select play. We're dropped into the game, and we're told that we need to get out before we run out of energy. We look around our cell, and there are a couple of items that we have. We can only take 1 with us, and so it tells us we have 10 stamina points left. And here I can navigate around. I can either choose to take a skeleton key, which will cost 1 stamina but give me a key, or I can take the map, which will cost 1 stamina, give me a map, or I could do nothing and not lose any stamina. So maybe I'll take the key with me this time. So now it's telling me I got the key. It'll probably unlock things, and I have 9 stamina points left. So already at this first scene in the game, we can kind of see that we have 2 gameplay variables. We have the ability to hold a key or a map. Those are 2 separate Boolean variables. And we actually have a third, which is our stamina points. So we've actually got more than the requirement here. And we already have our first branching decision point. So let's continue on to the next one. So we leave that room and we head out into the forest. There's a crossroads, and we have a couple of different options here. So we can take a risky thing that will probably cost 1 stamina. We can take a hidden path if we have the map. And we can take the long safe path, which will cost more but isn't risky. And we can also see, like, at this point, there is a feature detection here for whether there is a feature here that detects whether the user has a map. So if I try and use this hidden path without the map, it tells me you can't, try again, takes me back to the decision. So maybe at this point I decide to just take the long safe path, and my stamina drops by 4 since it took a while to take that path. I'm out of the forest. I'm at a locked gate or door. So now I'm at this third decision point where I have 5 stamina points, and I can do a couple of things. I could try to pick the lock, which is risky. It'll cost 2 stamina. If I have the key, I can use that for 1 stamina, or I can try searching around for another way. Since I have the key, I could try that. Key comes in handy. We unlock the door and escape, and we had 4 stamina points left. So at this point, that's it for the alpha version of the application. We had those 3 branching decision points. We had these items that the player could have, the map and the key, and we had the stamina points. So we had 3 variables that influenced our gameplay here. This doesn't have to be the fully polished version. Like here, the story and the formatting would be nice to kind of flesh out and polish, but we at least have the skeleton of our application from start to finish, so we could build this executable, send it to someone, have them play it, and they could give us some feedback about, hey, this was fun, but like it was way too easy to win, so maybe think about a different item or think about changing the stamina costs. That feedback is really the goal of building an alpha. We want to get a version of our application built that we can share with someone else so that they can give us some meaningful feedback. And just to give you some insight into the code, we've got the menu class from that homework assignment where we built the keyboard menu class. And then we have a game class that's structured similar to that homework assignment where we run the main menu that presents the menu, presents some options, and then runs a couple of different methods based on which option was picked. So if they chose play, then we go to run item choice. And if we scroll down to run item choice, we can see a similar thing. We have a prompt, we've got a menu of options, and then we do something after the player has selected one of those options. So if they chose picking up the skeleton key, option 0, then we go into our current player instance and change the Boolean for has key to true, and we take away 1 stamina. And that's kind of the structure of the application here. We have a menu at each of these choices. We use that to change some variables, and then we send them off, or we send our code off to another method here. So regardless of what you pick here, the skeleton key, force map, nothing, at the end we go to this run force choice, which runs a different choice. So you can build off of what we built in that menu to start creating your alpha version of your application. Okay, so that's it for the alpha. Just, keep in mind, these are the requirements. These are your goals as you're trying to build it out. So you can cut back the scope of your game to try and meet these requirements. That's something that students often have to do when they're tackling their alpha. You have these ambitious ideas, and then you realize when you have to code it, oh, wow, I don't have time to code all of this, or I don't know how to code this yet. So focus in on these requirements, get something that's playable from start to finish so you can get some feedback.